why not at least examine and give a fair shake to the guy who is saying, let's try something new?
Hey, look, Donald Trump, he was on the cusp of being seen as someone who's bringing stability to this conflict. We've just had 2 weeks of a ceasefire, and now overnight, he's decided to throw it all out. Overnight, he said, you know what? This ceasefire process, the one that was envisioned to develop what we call a third phase, meaning what to do about Gaza, negotiating with our friends and allies in the region, negotiating with Israel, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to come up with my own independent idea that nobody believes.
Well, hold on, though.
That's sort of outlandish.
Okay, but you just by your own admission stated that he is the guy who got a ceasefire when Joe Biden couldn't for a year. Maybe he's onto something.
Let me explain. He got the ceasefire because it was actually baked into 8 months of diplomacy by the Biden administration that he joined with. And now he's in the position where he's winning on this issue, getting a ceasefire. He has Netanyahu here. He has the heads of Egypt and Jordan coming. Why did he turn his back on this process?
I don't think he did, but I'm guessing, Niall, you do. This is what I'm going to point out. Majority of Palestinians support Hamas. 57% of Gazans, 82% of Palestinians living in the West Bank support an organization that says we want to wipe out Israel. That is indisputable. Why on earth should the United States continue to spend another day, and why should Israel spend another day, saying that they should allow this organization to control and to have any existence in either the West Bank or in Gaza?
Because the way to wean people away from violence and from armed struggle, as they would see it, is to provide a political path forward. You laid out in your introduction the failure of the two-state solution. When has an American administration really put the screws to Israel to abide by a two-state solution? Israel has been an illegal occupation of the West Bank for 50 years.
Bill Clinton did it, and George W. Bush did it.
And the problem was that the Palestinians were not offered a contiguous state. They were offered parcels of land. If we get back into the 2000 proposal, we'll be here all night. The point is, Palestinians are radicalized by the inability to make progress by peaceful means. You talk about the Palestinian support for Hamas. Hold on 1 second. The Prime Minister of Israel is an accused war criminal. The former National Security Minister of Israel is convicted by Israeli courts of supporting terrorism. The finance minister of Israel.
So if you just want to demonize Israel here, but I think the larger point, though, is
it's not. Why is it demonizing Israel to say Benjamin Netanyahu is an accused war criminal?
Because anybody can accuse anybody of anything. The fact
the International Criminal Court, it's not
right, which is the most anti-Semitic organization in the world.
I'm going to take a bit of middle ground here. Now I'm moving in the middle, which is I think it's outlandish that he was accused by the ICC for war crimes. But I will say he has never embraced the two-state solution either. There was a prime minister, Yitzhak Rabin, who did, and at the time that he did it at the beginning of the Oslo process, Netanyahu was on the streets protesting against that. So I think it's disingenuous to say that somehow only the Palestinians who have, I agree with you, rejected two-state solutions, that they're the only ones that have.
Majority of Palestinians don't support a two-state solution. When the Israelis gave Gaza to the Palestinians without any conditions and without walling it off or anything else, they turned it into a terror state. Again, why? And we have been told over and over again, Niall, that Gazans are refugees. So when offered, hey, you can go back to an area that is full of rubble, okay, and controlled by Hamas, or let's call the Arab world's bluff and say, do you really care about the Palestinians? Why don't you take some and give them the opportunity at a better life? Why would that not be a better solution?
For whom would it be a better solution? It is up to the Palestinians to decide where they live. It is not up to the President of the United States to shunt people around.
It was not up to the million-plus Jews living in the Arab world when they were all kicked out of Arab lands over the past 50 or 60 years.
Wrongly.
So it wasn't up to them.
Exactly. But why are we then defending the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians if we agree that the ethnic cleansing of Jewish people is wrong?
We're not defending ethnic cleansing, and by definition, people are told that those who are, quote, living in Gaza are refugees. So if an area is complete rubble, you're just saying we should abandon the Palestinians and let them go back to rubble?
No, I'm not. I'm saying it is up to the people of the Palestinian territories to decide where they wish to live. It is not up to Donald Trump. It is not up to the U.S. military. It is not up to Benjamin Netanyahu to dictate to another people where they should live, if those people are on their own land.
Unless they are using that land to commit terrorist acts and to start wars. But Joel, I'll ask you this question.
Yeah.
Okay, where is Egypt? Where is Jordan? Where is the Arab world that says they care so much about the Palestinians, and why does the U.S. media ignore all of that in this story?
Well, Egypt, in and of itself, has its own concerns about the Muslim Brotherhood, of
right,
which
because they don't want a
Hamas
bunch
is
of terrorists
part.
either.
And they do not want the Muslim Brotherhood there. They do not want Hamas in there. They've built a wall alongside the South. But there's a complexity to this that we have to recognize. It's what Niall is pointing out. Look, ultimately, the Palestinians want to live in Gaza, and they want to live in the West Bank. A real plan forward would be one where all the Palestinian entities would be included, including the Palestinian Authority, which has not been given a role in governing Gaza.
Right,
and
because the people of Gaza voted them out because they were corrupt.
Well, they voted them out, but they're sitting there in their government that actually Israel works with for security in the West Bank. This is what we need to be thinking about if we're going to get there.
The fact that everybody thinks about this in Washington is, oh, it's so complex. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh, it's so this.
It is.
Maybe what Donald Trump said, though, is, no, it's not. And maybe what it requires is somebody to not say we need to study this, but maybe it says, look, nothing's been working. We are going to enforce a solution. May not be perfect in every sense of the word. May not be perfect for the Israelis either. But at least it's going to move forward.
There's a word in Yiddish, we call it balagan, which means chaos and craziness. So he's created.
That was Arabic too,
and Hebrew for that matter. It's a balagan. Look, if we want to spend $1 trillion to try to nation build in Gaza Strip, which is in worse shape than Iraq ever was, and cost thousands of American lives most likely to deal with it, have at it. I didn't know that the American people voted for a nation-building exercise in the Gaza Strip, and I don't know what the American interest is in sending troops to do that. Outside of that, then we have to engage
Let the Israelis get Hamas out of the Gaza Strip, which I think we all agree.
They've been trying.
No, they've been handcuffed by the Biden administration. That's a different issue. And I think the reason right now that you're seeing the ceasefire fall apart is because Israel is going to demand. I know, but it's going to fall apart because Israel is going to demand Hamas surrender. And Hamas isn't going to surrender, and then we're going to be back at war. Again, Niall, if we really care about the Palestinians, the innocent Palestinians who we're told to exist, who just want peace and security, despite the fact that 75% of them supported the October 7th attacks, isn't the fundamental bottom line, the starting line, have to be Hamas must go, people who support violence and organized terror must go, and then we can have an honest conversation?
No, because the reason is that you need to work on the causes of support for political violence.
How about
the manifestation of it?
Iran?
And let me hold on 1 second. You talked about if we care about the Palestinians, having just said that Israel was handcuffed by the Biden administration, handcuffed while they killed 47,000 Palestinians. 47,000. And the handcuffed?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, according to a terrorist organization. Anyway, I don't think we solved this problem today. It's been going on for 50 years. Now we're at 50 years in a day. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure's always.